Adding capacity to our 8 Bay Drobos NAS and ZAN.
Calculating capacity on our 8 Bay products. Our Drobo capacity calculator can be found on drobo.com, clicking on the Resources tab, scrolling through till you see Capacity Calculator. Now, in front of us, we can see one of our 8 Bay products. Now, it doesn't matter whether we use the NAS product line or the iSCSI product line. Whether it's NAS or SAN, it will all be the same. Basically, here we have our drives that we've qualified. We're always qualifying new ones, so currently the highest we've qualified was 12 terabytes. So let's go ahead and start down the line here. We're going to start slotting in these 12 terabyte drives. We can see that, kind of this is already starting to gain kind of capacity here. So we can see we're at 48 terabytes, giving us a rough estimate of available of 32.68. Now, we can see here that we filled 4 of our bays in, and we're getting about 32 terabytes. Now, the other option we have here for dual disk redundancy, as in our 5 bays, both our 8 bays also have the option of going to dual disk redundancy, which simply means this protects you against 2 simultaneous drive failures. So when we select this, you'll see the capacity drop. Now, what it's doing is it's taking a redundancy layer and protecting you against 2 simultaneous drive failures. So we can have both of these drives, or this drive and this drive, fail and still not lose any data. I mean, this is why it's critical to always keep a drive on hand. Like we've said before many times, drives are like light bulbs. If you put them in the same time, they have a certain amount of burning time. A lot of lights will start dying at the same time, and you come to a scenario where you want to start replacing them. So we encourage you to buy drives as you can and as your budget allows, but always keep one spare drive in its anti-static bag just for safekeeping and protecting of your data. Always think of backup options, as well as our NAS products. We have the option of doing Drobo DR, so that's a one-way sync off to an offsite Drobo. And that's a free service we offer if you purchase 2 of the same Drobos. So if we purchase either 2 5N2s or 2 B810Ns, it allows you to use that Drobo DR feature and create a one-way sync, so you can set up your home and then your office as the 2 site locations. You set up the primary sync at home and then or work, depending on which is going to be your primary unit, and you move the other off-site. It just creates a great way to kind of, also works for the office spaces, creates a great way to kind of protect yourselves against, any kind of natural disasters as we've had here in California with the wildfires. It has saved many of our customers' lives, these data that you can't get back. Insurance will obviously cover the hardware, but they can't cover the data. So that's why it's really important to kind of understand the practice of good data protection here. Now we have this new option on our 8 Bay products called hybrid storage option. If we click on this, you'll see it immediately changed 3 of those drives into SSDs, and showing us our available capacity is 223.12 gigabytes out of 720 gigabytes. Now what this is doing is it's creating a hot data cache out of these drives. So obviously any SSDs you put into our 8 Bay products or our 5 Bay products, you're going to have to use a carrier chassis like an IC dock or any kind of other converter docks in here. There's a list of available ones on our website that we've tested, and you can always visit support for us and kind of go to our page there and see what's tested there. Now we can keep going down the line and filling HDDs for the rest. So we can fill in these 12 terabyte drives, managing our capacity down here. And currently on our B810N or our B810i, they support up to 64 terabyte volumes. So you can keep going and just kind of watch that here. And that's a quick way of showing, we'll always manage the volume up to 64. So you can quickly see here, if we fill this all with 12 terabyte drives and 3 SSDs at 240 gigabytes, under dual disk and hybrid storage, it's giving us 32.68. Now, if we said we feel like we can live with single disk redundancy and we're going to keep that drive on hand, we'll turn that off, and you can see, it scales up. It also deleted that. So we can put the drives back in and quickly kind of see how that adds up. So right here, we've actually exceeded the 64. So what's going to happen in this scenario is it'll create a secondary volume. So you can always go like down the line and say, you know what, maybe I can see different cost differentials as well if I want to stay up to 64. It just depends on which scenario you're on. Most people haven't filled up to 64 yet. We can say we're using 6 down the line. This again kind of helps you with speed and performance if you use the same drive down the line, but that's also the beauty of Drobo. It doesn't have to use the same drive or speed of the hard drive. It could be any kind of mix and match you want to do, but you will be gated to the slowest RPM drive or, kind of the lower capacity drives. It's always kind of good for if your performance is your number one concern to put the same drive at a 7200 RPM HDD speed in. We have many drives that we recommend on our drive recommended page, also under our resources tab, so you can always visit there and kind of see more information there. Here we're only at 36.48 terabytes, which gives us a raw capacity of 26.14 terabytes. So you can kind of mix and match here and see what kind of pricing model fits for your budget, and then whether you want to go with dual disk redundancy or single. So it's a quick and easy way to kind of see what really works for you. And like we said before, anytime you add these drives in here, if you kind of go, well, yeah, capacity does, I see capacity getting added, but how many files does that mean to you? When you scroll down on the capacity calculator, you kind of see, what you could store up to. And this kind of shows you how many songs you can do, how many large documentations you can do, how many photos, and how many movies. It's just a simple, quick way to kind of see how your storage kind of stacks up and how much available capacity you'll have.
For additional resources, visit myproducts.drobo.com.